Hi, welcome back again. Um, Continuation of the same thing, literally the bare fundamentals of cybersecurity in every aspect. And for this video, we're doing email security concepts. So we're going to explore concepts such as identifying threats, implementing procedures, and configuring settings for a bit more robust security for your email. So about HTTPS enabled email services, control keep me signed in, utilizing email feed filters, scan attachments for malware, blocking spam accounts, monitoring account activity. We're going to, as far as our direct exercises, we'll be going over malicious email attachments, identifying and handling threats, malicious user misdirection, misleading links, phishing, of course, hoax email, Nigerian scam, spamming, spam fighter, using robust passwords, how to craft those, using HTTPS enabled emails for opting for secure providers, deactivating email previews, and just staying vigilant, along with configuring security settings on your preferred email provider that you use. That will be going over here. So what we're going to do is start with Outlook. I'm going to start with Outlook in just a moment. All right, so as you can see, I have my email, well, my practice email open here. We're going to get started with the security concept for, particularly for Outlook, just what a lot of enterprises use for business communications. So one of the things I want to touch on first is turning off the preview feature when receiving an email. So by default, usually several email clients and online email service providers use the preview feature, but it can be turned off. It's a recommended practice to keep it off because of various reasons. For example, if you receive a message from a suspicious email account and don't want to open the email, however, when you select the email, it will be open in the preview pane. The email is in the HTML format, then there is a chance that the JavaScript may get executed. So we're going to go through a few steps with turning off this feature. Of course, luckily I have, I solely created an email just so I'll be able to practice with this particular thing or show the application of how this works. So we're just going to select any old message. Yeah, I'm just going to select any old message, right? And then in the upper right corner, we'll see settings here. Actually, maybe right here. Not sure. So then what we'll do is we'll select show on the right in the reading pane. Let's see. There we go. Right, then we're going to hit save there, right? Then we're going to select hide the radio button in the reading pane section. Let's see. I can find it. All right, so I was able to locate it here onto the pane, but it's a bit slightly different in different versions of Outlook. There are quite a few versions that have been updated as far as the settings and the layout of everything as far as the UI. So, excuse me. Now that we've gotten that taken care of, now we're going to disable the keep sign in or the stay signed in functions. Because normally, if you're regularly logged into a web-based email account, right, we have to provide the user credentials every time. So most of the email service providers like Outlook, Gmail, Yahoo, they provide a feature that's usually named "Stay Signed In" or "Keep Me Signed In" to allow users to skip logging in every time they visit their email account. It can definitely be annoying. So we're going to configure that. We're going to do that in a few steps here. So of course, we are officially right now logged into that account. And then now we're going to save this here. So we're going to log out here and sign out, right? Just for it to finish. Then of course I'm redirected to the main page or the home page for this particular browser. So I'm gonna get signed back in. Here. Right. And this. Okay, let's try something else. So now that we'll see that I successfully logged back into my email on the website, and then what I'm going to do is close out the browser completely, and then I'm going to open it back up and go back to the website. See. I'm just going to go to outlook.com. And we should have to sign in again. There we go. Good. That's what we want to see, right? And then I'm going to log back in. All right, so now that we are back into re-logging in after restarting the browser for Firefox, now we're going to provide the account that I have here with the recovery email for mail recovery. So a recovery email is used for recovering your current email account in case you forget your password. To configure a recovery email address, we're just going to do a few things. Just got to make sure you're actually logged into your account. And then we're going to select here. Then we're going to go to my Microsoft account, right? And then it should bring everything. Your Microsoft account brings everything together, should load here. If it doesn't, that's perfectly fine. But we're going to go to the security pane portion, right? And then maybe prompted with the password or requesting for a password to do this, which is fine. Let's start it. Okay, verify. Just a second. All right, perfect. So I was able to recover the code that it was sent to another device. So now we'll add the email. The email is, let me take a look here. There we go. and it'll send us a code. Just a moment. All right, so I was able to, again, verify. As you can see, Outlook as an email provider is very constant, very consistent with verifying information. So it's a pain, but at least I know that in the back of my mind I'm able to trust it a bit more because they take security a bit more seriously. And as you can see, I have my recovery email attached to my primary practice lab email in order to assist with email recovery, right? All right, so now that we've gotten that taken care of and squared away, now we want to take a look at avoiding unwanted emails using filters, right? So particularly for Outlook, filters are rules that can help to prevent unwanted emails from getting sent to your inbox. So for example, if you subscribe to a mailing list rather than the email from the mailing list coming to your inbox, you can actually direct it to another folder. However, filters can also be used to separate important emails from the main inbox or emails from certain senders. So right now, we're going to create an email filter that will redirect emails, and we're going to do that in just a few steps. So we're going to go to the gear here for the settings, right? And then we're going to just make sure we're in general so we can view all the Outlook settings, right? And then we'll see a rules option, right? Let's see, there it is. All right, so now we're going to add new rule, right? And then in the new, in this box here where it says name your rule, we're going to name it important. Usually it's not, but we're going to name it that, right? So then we're going to select a condition and we're going to select from, right? And then new text box populates, right? To select the condition drop down. Let's see here. Then we're going to type the name of our alternate address. Let's see if it'll let me have a practice lab. It's outlook.com. Yeah, for some reason I'll do this here. All right. And then now that we have that selected here, we're going to have to select an action drop down, right? And then we're going to select move to, right? And then we're going to select the folder. We're probably just going to have to create a new one. Move to important. Almost forgot that we had it up here. All right, so a new drop down that is going to appear next to select an action. And then we're going to select create a new folder. Means, let's see. And that folder is going to be named important. If it'll let me type properly. There we go. So we're going to hit save, all right, enter. And now the new rule is created. It saves here. All right, perfect. So then we're going to hit save, and then I'm going to close the settings box, right? So the important folder is now created in the left pane. We'll see it should be somewhere over here in this general vicinity. For some reason, it's just not showing. But if you have Outlook, you'll know that you'll have a list of folders next to your inbox to choose from, to click on for various, creative folders that you've created for whatever reason. All right, so any emails from my alternate email address that's received here to my primary will be stored in the important folder, right? So let's see. It should be here. There it is. Oh. So let's see. It's not showing here, but it's definitely has been created. Not sure if maybe, not sure why it's not showing here, but Most certainly, that the folder has been created under important. So again, anything that's sent from my secondary email will be sent specifically to that folder and won't show up in my general inbox, right? So possibly because I have these settings here. No, but that's fine. I do have that particular rule created, right? For everything to be routed to that particular folder. So in another pane, we'll see that when we click rules, let me go here, go back. All right, we'll see that the rule has been created. And you'll see that it's the important rule that we've defined is clearly defined here, right? So then we're going to click on the left of the important slider to disable the rule, right? And then the rule is now disabled, and then I'm going to close the settings here. And that is how you create a rule for particular emails to filter out unwanted emails in your inbox. You may want your business emails or emails that you're waiting for a response from a particular person if you're working on a project within your enterprise for it to go to your main inbox. And from everything else that's maybe not so important, you can create that filter for those sort of emails. So now we're going to keep the Firefox browser window open, right? So now we're going to get into our next task for scanning email attachments for malware. The reason why we do this is because hackers and spammers often send emails with malicious attachments, right? That's how they get in. So therefore, it's essential that any attachment that we receive is scanned before it's open. So Outlook actually provides basic support, but does not perform a thorough scan of attachments. So we would actually have to download and scan the file using an antivirus application. So to scan an email attachment for malware, we're going to do that in a few steps. So we're going to be inside our inbox, right? And then let's see. So what I'm going to do actually to help us out, I'm going to send an email with an attachment from my secondary email. Just a moment. All right, so now I have an email with an attachment, and I sent it from my alternate email. Let's see. Just going to make sure we click down arrow to download the attachment. Going to pop up, of course. Then show in folder should appear. There we go. Now, even though Outlook provides a preview feature for us to preview the attachment, it's not advisable to preview them unless you're sure the email is from a legitimate source. Now, of course, the downloads folder is displayed. I'm going to right-click the attachment and select Scan with Windows Defender. Let's see. There we go. Now, the scan options, as you can see, on the window as displayed in the Windows Defender, of course, found 0 threats. So we're going to close this, right? And then we're going to close the File Explorer window. And we're going to keep the Firefox window open, right? Now, that was a more thorough scan than what Outlook initially gives. Outlook initially gives whenever there's an attachment incoming to your inbox from a sender, right? So now we're going to look into blocking spam accounts, because when you use an email account, of course, everyone will receive some sort of spam. Any unwanted solicited emails from unknown folks, even if you haven't been to the site for some reason. You may want to filter these emails. Now, to create a filter to avoid these, you want to do a few things. So you want to go back to settings, right? It's in the toolbar. And then you want to view all the Outlook settings, all right? And now, while mail is set by default, usually I should have stayed there. So I'm going to click on chunk email. And then we're going to click add. Right, in the text box that appears here, we're going to enter anything. Let's see, something. Google.com. Just gonna put that there. All right, we're gonna hit save. Okay, now it's added, of course, to the block senders, right? And then I'm gonna close the settings box here. Now, one of the few tasks we're gonna do is check for last account activity, because there may be times where you want to check for the last account activity. For example, the reason why you would do this is if you're suspicious that, that someone has access to your account and want to verify the last time it was logged into to check the last account activity. Just want to do a few things, right? And you want to make sure that you're logged into your email account, in this particular case, Outlook. And you want to click your account initials, which is here. Then you go to Microsoft account, right? And then you want to click on the security portion of the account once it fully loads here for us. Okay. And I may access for a password. All right, so I'm back inside the account. So to make sure that we're checking for last account activity, we're gonna go ahead and go to open up my Microsoft account. I'm gonna click that option, and then once it loads, we'll have the security. Well, we'll be clicking on the security in the top pane here. There we go. There may be prompted to enter the password. Okay. Try it again. Finally, I was able to get my credentials from the MSA that's active on here. So now we can take a look at my activity, right? View my activity. So I can see the when and where I've used my account. Let's see. Unusual activity. So I have a antivirus that's also a VPN on my device that I'm currently using. So this is totally fine, even though my primary location is, excuse me, isn't exactly what it's on my profile. So that's how you check your, making sure no one's logged into your account. I know exactly where the location is that I have set for my VPN. So all of these look perfectly fine, right? So, so yeah, we're good to go. That's how you check your activity. So now we're going to get into it just a moment, how to set proper security settings for your email, because of course each email online service provider have security sets to help you secure your user account. So these settings, they relate to privacy, account activities, and passwords, and we're going to be configuring various email security options here in just a moment. All right, so to record, to have our security settings done a bit better to enable us to have a better experience for our email service provider. We're going to head to the advanced security options, right? I'm just going to wait for that to load. And we have additional sign-in options like passwordless account and two-step verification, of course. This is my additional email, my recovery email, right? And I just want to note also, it's important that if you review your recovery code when using MFA, you'll see the replace recovery code options. Your recovery code should not be shared with anyone. And this code is used for recovering the email account, of course, but you cannot use the recovery email or phone. So I'll leave the settings as they are for just now, so I can go ahead to the next task. So while keeping the Firefox browser open, when I create, usually, when anyone creates an email account, you must have a password, right? So the password can be changed if needed, and Outlook also provides a reminder feature to prompt any user to change the password every typically 72 days. Now, this feature is not enabled by default, so we're going to take a look at the password settings, right? So we're going to make sure we take a look here. And let's see, the additional security. So we have two-step verification off, and we have passwordless account off. So let's see. All right. All right, so now I'm on a security basics page, and I'm going to click on password security. Now, as well as on this page, as well as the ability to change our password, we can also enable the option to remind us to change our password every 72 days. So, but for this task, I'm going to skip changing the password. So I'm going to click cancel, right? And then I'll be back on to the security basics page. Now, just to move forward with the next task is configuring the privacy settings. So just like any other email service provider, right, Hotmail also provides privacy settings. We can manage our data privacy settings using the privacy option on the account options page. And we're going to do that in a few steps here. So of course, we're logged in and that we're at the security page, right? Scroll back up here, and then gonna select the privacy drop down here. Or the privacy dashboard rather. All right, so now we'll see all the different privacy options, right? And again, this is kind of the same concept that we did in the prior video when it came to browser security, right? So as far as location, browsing, search history, app and service activity, app and service performance data. A lot of this is data that's captured also by our email provider, right? Information is king, right? So it's pretty much the new gold. Now, it's possible that your personal account may contain search details. It's because the data gradually accumulates as and when you use the account. So the search results are usually built on two criteria. So if we, at least for Hotmail, right, or Outlook in this case, we've logged on, let's say the Bing search engine, right, using our Microsoft account, which can either be Outlook or Live. When we navigate to Bing, we perform a search from Cortana. Cortana is powered into Bing, right, as far as when we perform our search. So since we have not performed any tasks, we pretty much receive little to no data, right, as far as browsing and search. Now also for configuring email notifications, which is notifications meant to display a prompt or highlight in the tab to indicate that a new email has arrived or something in your calendar if you use it for a bit more than just email, right? So we can also take a look at that in a few steps. So we can go back to our Microsoft account dashboard and actually go to settings. Yeah, go back to the. All right, so we're back at the inbox, right? So we're gonna go to settings. Should be able to look at all of the settings, right? Then we're gonna go to the general. Right, then we're gonna go to notifications. All right, and this pretty much contains all the notification structure that we could possibly have for our account. And we can pretty much configure anything as far as mail, calendar events, as I mentioned. documents as far as edits are mentioned that you may be sharing with someone else. Now, in the app, right, the Outlook application, almost all email service providers have a mobile app available on for Android or iOS, and they also offer Outlook as a mobile app, right? And it has features similar to the desktop version that we have here. So it offers search capabilities, a calendar, and integrates with other Microsoft applications like Skype or Office or Teams that I personally use with my current enterprise. Now, however, it's important to note that Microsoft Outlook is not the only email account for accessing emails. You can use various apps like MyMail, Spark, and FastMail for those. But this is email security concepts. This is the end of the video. Thank you for watching.